Good evening, and welcome to this edition of Month in Review. I'm Petty Officer Greg House. And in tonight's newscast, we're going to recap the top stories from Sasebo and Yokosuka for the month of August. Our top story tonight: for almost 4 decades, Yokosuka Naval Base has opened its doors to Japanese locals every summer. And this year was no different, as thousands of Japanese visitors got the chance to see what life is like on the base. Petty Officer Chris Henry tells us about Yokosuka's Friendship Day.
Commander Fleet Activities Yokosuka invited their Japanese neighbors to the base for the 36th annual Friendship Day to visit with sailors and their families and to experience some American culture.
Everyone's having fun. It's like you see a whole bunch of people you don't usually see. You just walk up and you say, "Hi, how's it going? Where'd you get that barbecue?" I mean, I walked by earlier and saw someone with a steak on a stick. That was delicious. I went and bought me one.
The base and the city of Yokosuka share a strong relationship, and Friendship Day always draws a big crowd.
The weather's cooperating, and we've already got 12,000 people on the base, and we expect to get up to 40 to 50,000. I hope they get to experience some interaction with the U.S. sailors and their families, get to see some of our culture, and I hope the U.S. folks get the same experience in return.
Friendship Day is an opportunity to strengthen intercultural relations between the base and the city of Yokosuka. Japanese and Americans ended the day with a fireworks display from the city of Yokosuka. Petty Officer Chris Henry, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
Running drills is important to keeping sailors mission ready, whether they are on a ship or on shore. Seaman Andrew Frisbee was on board USS Avenger and shows us how sailors are learning to prepare the ship for an attack.
Sailors on board USS Avenger run CBR drills to prepare for an attack.
CBR stands for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear defense. It's a way for us to protect the ship in the case we enter either of those environments.
The crew ran through procedures involved in securing the ship for a CBR attack, including decontamination, examination of the ship, watch standing, and learning how to don their chemical gear.
How to don the ACPG. They had me as the dummy, if you will, the subject, and they had me put it all on. And it's quite a complicated process. Couldn't find out, but I learned a lot.
The CBR drills help sailors on USS Avenger learn what to do and where to go if their ship is attacked. Reporting aboard USS Avenger, I'm Seaman Andrew Frisbee.
Chief Selects all over the world are still in the middle of their hectic induction process. Petty Officer Chris Henry shows us how, with just a few weeks before their pinning, these sailors are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Chief induction season is only 6 weeks long, but for new Chief Petty Officer selectees, it feels much longer. A milestone on their way to Chief comes when they are fitted for the coveted khaki uniforms.
All the uniforms that we have to have as E7s or Chiefs, we can get tonight and make sure that they're ready for us when we get pinned on the 14th of September.
Earning their anchors takes many years.
You strive to be a Chief Petty Officer, and now they're reaching that milestone, and also they're putting it on for the first time. They can kind of feel like what it would like to be the Chief, to ask the Chief.
Stepping into the khakis for a moment is a motivating reminder for the selectees.
Putting on the khakis for the first time and seeing myself in the mirror, and like I said, reality kind of started sinking in that this is it.
Soon, selection season will be over, and the selectees will be wearing the anchors and khakis as new chiefs. Petty Officer Chris Henry, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
CB Battalion 74 has arrived in Sasebo. And for many of these sailors, this is their first time working in Japan. Seaman Che Rose tells us about the new challenges they face and how they overcome them.
Building in Japan is not exactly the same thing as building in America. Sailors from CB Battalion 74 tell us about how different the construction process can be in a host country.
It's different for me. I'm a heavy equipment operator, so we do a lot of driving, and we drive on the other side of the road. And it just makes the job a little bit harder. Sailors unfamiliar with the local weather are affected by the rain and humidity seasons.
Rain and humidity effects are huge. From the humidity to it just overheating people's bodies, to the point where they have to take breaks. The rain because you can't work in the rain. So once it starts raining, you got to take breaks. It affects manpower, affects man hours.
Despite the weather conditions, metric system, and the difficulty of driving on the other side of the road, the CBs always complete their projects. Seaman Che Rose, Fleet Activities, Sasebo, Japan.
Energy conservation is a major concern here in Japan, and everyone is looking for ways to cut back. Petty Officer Chris Henry tells us how making one little change at Seafay is making a huge impact.
Exit signs are everywhere. Fleet Activities Yokosuka has over 3,000 marked exits. All of these signs are draining electricity.
An exit sign, it's on all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year.
Crews are installing new light-emitting crystal exit markers that are 99% more efficient. How much can these new signs save?
And we're expecting an anticipated annual savings of about $250,000.
Saving money through new technology isn't the only way to cut energy costs. Commands also rely on volunteer energy monitors who watch and cut energy costs in their workplace.
My job is to reduce the amount of energy that we use here at MWR and therefore for the entire command. I do this with training, awareness, and by basically going out and just checking to make sure it's being done.
Energy monitors ensure best practices are followed, like turning off the lights in unneeded areas, using natural lights instead of overhead lighting, and running fans when the air conditioner is not necessary. These steps can significantly reduce a command's energy footprint. By motivating their colleagues to pay attention to energy use, millions of dollars in wasted energy can be saved. Petty Officer Chris Henry, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
Labor Day is Monday, marking the official end of summer. Let's take a look outside and see if the heat will continue or if fall weather is in the future.
Here's your 3-day weather forecast and current exchange rate for the Sasebo, Atsugi, and Yokosuka areas.
Security is a vital part of everyday operations for any military installation. Seaman Andrew Frisbee talked to sailors from Security Dispatch at Fleet Activities Sasebo and tells us how they keep the sailors safe on and off base.
Sentries and patrolmen provide an important means of defense for any military installation, but there's another group of sailors that play a crucial role in protecting the base.
Security Dispatch basically receives all the emergency calls from personnel out in town or on base. If it's out in town, could be, for anything from assault to a car accident, and then on base, any type of emergency situation.
Dispatch provides a vital means of communication for security.
The most important part is getting our patrolmen all the information they need before they arrive on scene, getting there in a timely manner, getting all the information from personnel calling in, either traffic accidents and all the other cases we handle.
Dispatch doesn't just handle issues that occur on base, but it branches out farther than the gates.
We're responsible for the entire of Kyushu Island. So that can be all the way up to Fukuoka, all the way down to the southern tip of the island. Most of the accidents, though, do take place within the Sasebo area.
Roger, I have a 1038.
The important role that dispatch plays leaves the sailors involved with a sense of accomplishment.
Oh, I love it. I feel like I have a really good role, especially as an E4. It's a really big responsibility to be a dispatcher.
Security Dispatch can't do their jobs without the help of sailors around the base.
If you see something, report it. Even if you're not 100% sure, that maybe something did happen, but it just doesn't seem right to you, or whatever the case may be, report it to us. We'll go and we'll take a look at it.
It takes many different parts working together to ensure a base's safety. Security Dispatch provides the communication that allows the team to work together. Seaman Andrew Frisbee, Fleet Activities Sasebo, Japan.
And that does it for this edition of Month in Review. If you missed any portion of this newscast, we'll be posting it to our Facebook tomorrow morning. You can also find us on YouTube at AFN Sasebo, Japan. Tune in next Thursday at the same time for AFN's monthly travel show, Kyushu Explorer, where Petty Officers Allen and Lenahan will be showing you some historical sites you can check out for free. I'm Petty Officer Greg House, and from all of us here at AFN, thank you for watching and have a great evening.